I can tell you about the moon spoon in great detail. I know where it is in relation to the Earth and the Moon at any given time. I know that it can never be seen from Earth, and that no satellite thus far has journeyed far enough above the surface of the Moon to take any useful images of the spoon. I know that even those that do fly high enough cannot see the spoon either, as the spoon is so small it cannot be resolved within any imagery. I also know that it's both impossibly shinier than this representation, and yet caked in dirt and dust from the numerous sinkholes and earthquakes it has dug on Earth. Just look at all those craters on the Moon. That's practice. It's also slightly rounder than this, and is engraved with a fleur de lis, so it's possibly French in origin. Now, with all that detail, you'd assume that there would be some evidence to go along with it all, right? Well, I have none. Not one piece of evidence for the moon spoon. It is entirely faith-based. I believe it exists, therefore it exists. This is my analogy for Nibiru. You can replace all that detail with the figures proponents use for Nibiru, and you arrive at the same assumption, that there must be some irrefutable evidence that allowed such a detailed conclusion to be made. So what is the evidence for Nibiru? Okay, often there is claimed evidence, but as we've seen, it is butchered and distorted in order to fit the Nibiru vision. That is to say, you can take evidence of the supernova remnant G1.9 plus 0.3, for example, and just call it Nibiru. But that's not evidence for Nibiru, it's evidence of proponents lying about a supernova remnant. But just as often there are claims with incredible amounts of detail, and yet absolutely no supporting evidence. Like this one.
So what will unfold during the last weeks? First, a severe wobble. Second, a lean to the left, where the north pole of Earth tries to evade planet X, which is coming at Earth in a retrograde orbit from the right. The Earth will be basking, north to south, in the light of the sun before this falling to the side rolls into the 3 days of darkness. Third, the 3 days of darkness for the northern hemisphere, when the north pole of Earth continues desperately to escape the north pole of planet X, which is pointing directly at the Earth. Fourth, 6 days of sunrise west, while the Earth stops its momentum and returns to an upright position. During these 6 days, the north pole of Earth will have swung to the right due to momentum. Fifth, a slowing rotation until the Earth stops rotation entirely, with the Atlantic rift facing the Sun and the approaching planet X. Sixth, after 5.9 days of rotation stoppage, the hour of the pole shift when the north pole of Earth is violently pushed away, ripping the crust from the core of the Earth.
Wow, what a story.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the immutable laws of physics contradict the whole premise of your account.
Now that is detailed. It's even timetabled down to the hour, up until the after time. The after time. It's also complete nonsense. The problem with making stuff up and being so detailed means that we can check it out and verify your claims at each and every step. When you go into such detail about the direction it's approaching from, we no longer have to look in every single direction for such an object. We just have to look towards Orion, for example. After all, if you say that that's where it's coming from, then we should find evidence in that direction. We don't have to look incredible distances either. We just have to look out around 10 AU. That's within the orbit of Saturn, and Saturn can be seen with the naked eye. Ah, but, you say, Nibiru is a dark star, a brown dwarf, it's hard to see. Well, not to worry, we'll just use another method to find it. By definition, a brown dwarf must have at least 10 times the mass of Jupiter, and anything with mass in the first place, no matter what made-up number you claim, will affect and be affected by gravity. So we can check the orbits of the outer planets, and even the orbits of thousands of trans-Neptunian objects, to see if any of them have been altered. Ah, but, you say, it's coming from the south, underneath the Sun and the planets. What the heck is this planet doing to the laws of physics?
A severe wobble.
Then turns right.
Makes a left turn.
A lean to the left.
Back and to the left.
While the Earth stops its momentum.
Where it waits 1.6 seconds.
In midair, mind you.
Where it turns right, then left.
Before this falling to the side rolls into the 3 days of darkness.
Spit then proceeds to ricochet.
Makes a dramatic U-turn.
And returns to an upright position.
Back to the left. Say that again. Back and to the left.
The north pole of Earth will have swung to the right due to momentum.
Right, then left.
After 5.9 days of rotation stoppage.
Made a right turn.
Then heads downward at an angle of 27 degrees.
Ripping the crust from the core of the Earth.
That is one magic loogie.
The more detail you put into Nibiru claims, the more evidence you need to support them. If you don't have that evidence, then we can point to an awful lot of evidence to the contrary. The more detailed your claim becomes, the more tangled it can appear to be, sometimes contradicting itself. It certainly contradicts what other proponents will claim, because nobody can really agree on what Nibiru is. For anything to be accepted by science, it must be supported by evidence. We all know this. Anything else, anything without evidence, is based on faith. Until a cohesive, laws of physics abiding, mathematically accurate, evidence-supported theory for Nibiru is put forward for scientific peer review and publication, Nibiru will continue to be but one thing: an ignorance of reality.
So the spit could have only come from the front and to the right.
But that's not what they would have you believe.
I'm leaving. Jerry's a nut.